Until I met my new best friend. All of my boys say I'm tripping. When they call, I'm not answering. They always get my voicemail cause I'm busy.
Alex, are we rolling? We're rolling. Welcome to another episode of Sorry I've Been So Busy. This is we're right into it. You told me you're in a hurry today, and we are doing it.
Headphones on.
No, you said you don't like being in a hurry, so I try to put you on your toes. This is Sorry I've Been So Busy. This is the podcast where we talk to very busy people about what they're busy with. Sometimes we talk to not very busy people about what they pretend to be busy with all day. Andrew Goldstein is here.
At Ange Gold on Twitter, ANGEGOLD.
Yes, my name is Matt Goldich, at Matt Goldich on Twitter, MATTGOLDICH.
Hashtag paternity party. I'm still tweeting about paternity
we'll
leave.
Talk about that in a minute. We're here at Showbiz Studios with producer Alex. Alex, any news from the Showbiz family that you want to share?
We might have a very special project coming up.
Oh, how about that's a deep tease.
And I'll just tease a little bit. Mm-hmm. It might be late night related.
Ooh, wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
You had Doc Severinsen on the Carson pod.
Correct, but we had him on the phone. He called in. Pretty crazy.
I'm sure he was still wearing a fancy, very loud suit.
Very loud.
Yeah. Over the phone, yeah.
A couple of rim shots.
That's amazing. Doc Severinsen.
How old is he? He must be like...
He's like 80.
He's the only living member of the...
Is he still practicing medicine?
Yes, still practicing
trumpet medicine.
There you go. So we're here at Showbiz. Great to be back. ShowBizStudios.com. Check out the YouTube page. Check out our Facebook page. Sorry I've Been So Busy. At Busy Podcast on Twitter. I'm still a little recovering from something. Actually, I don't know if you can tell, but it's that time of year.
Don't tell my wife.
No, I'm 100%. Actually, that's a good point. But I had a cough for like a week, and it was like it would not go away, and it was one of those things where I'm like hacking up, just like it was gross. But I ended up going to the nurse at work, and she gave me codeine cough syrup, which I took for one night. It helped a lot.
I love that your job is like junior high school. I went down to the nurse's office.
The nurse's office at work. It was great. And I got some crackers for my tummy. And
I got to eat lunch in the nurse's office.
I called my mom to pick me up early. And and then I was going to take it a second night, but you'll appreciate this. My wife was out of town for work, and I did not feel comfortable taking the codeine cough syrup when I was home alone with my son, because I didn't want to get in a situation where it's like you're on the news the next day, like he's trying to wake me up for hours, and I'm just like, he needs and then he like...
Miraculous 3-year-old calls 911.
I know, right? Yes, he probably
that's 6 of those a year.
Yeah. He went to the Starbucks and got a coffee and just sat and hung out and waited for me. But no, so I'm pretty much like 90-95% better. But if I do have like
Jamie's much more on top
fit.
of the visitors' health.
Okay, good. Yeah, we have a great guest, by the way, coming up.
Amazing
in a couple minutes
guest.
We're going to introduce. But first, I know what's going on in the hashtag paternity party with you.
Things are going well. My big thing now is my fascination now is that like how many pictures and videos we're taking. Like,
yes,
I have like 6 pictures of me as a child.
Yeah,
maybe, and most of them are just like cell phone photos of the actual photo that like might be in a book somewhere.
Yeah, in
my mom's cluttered, hoarder house. So it's just insane. Like this generation, I wonder what like the long-term effects of having every second of your life documented. Like we have videos of him just laying on the changing table, kicking his legs.
Yeah.
There's no video of me doing anything until I was a teenager.
No, it's very weird to live your whole life observed like that. I mean, your life is basically from birth is like a nonstop Instagram story. We try to protect a little bit of his, but, we're not super, we don't put him a ton on social media, but we do some. And there are thousands in the cloud.
I'm not even talking about social media. I'm just talking about what we have.
Although based on the Flashback Friday pictures that other people post, it seems like some people do have a lot of pictures from their childhood.
Yeah, I guess so. Not us, not me.
I guess so. I don't know. But, yeah, it's do you have any sort of organization system for all the photos? Have you tried?
Well, we have a photo stream that like her family is shared on.
Yeah,
I just learned how to contribute.
Sure.
And I made a Shutterfly book of photos for my mom that I just sent her.
Oh, good.
So that that's
the
fun.
physical book is nice. I like that.
Yeah, my mom's very analog.
Sure.
She's not.
How's the sleep? You getting some sleep?
Well, so we're not in agreement on this being like our official strategy, but I told Jamie very early on, I was like, I'm much better at staying awake than I am at waking up early. So I very openly was like, I will stay up till 2:30, 3, just to wait for him to wake up and then change him and feed him, and then I'll go to bed. And then she has to wake up middle of the night anyway to pump.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, I'll get up at 7 because I'll get up at 7 and do the morning feeding. Or if you're up, you do it. But my whole point is like, I'm much better at just being alert and ready to do whatever needs to be done if I just stay up.
Yeah.
I've always been great at staying up late.
Yeah.
But I'm terrible at waking up.
Right.
So the whole like wake up at 4 a.m. thing is like, I haven't done that yet.
Oh, interesting. I like that. I would always, I kind of like that half groggy state of like the middle of the night. It's kind of like my time, you know.
Right, but I don't know. I'm so miserable during
But then you stay up till 3 and you wake up at 7. You're getting 4 hours of sleep.
Well, so
a night.
Jamie's whole thing was like, don't stay up because like you lose hours of sleep. But like I dozed off at like, let's say 10 o'clock during whatever we were watching. And if I fall asleep for like 30 minutes, then I'm good.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay.
I also worked on a morning show, so my body clock is all kinds of messed
Sure.
up. But here's the other thing. This only works because it's the NBA season.
Right.
Because I can put on NBA TV and watch Game Time and watch the highlights from every single game.
I was so caught up on SportsCenter when my son was born because I was often doing the 2:30, 3 a.m. feeding, and so I knew more about hockey at that point in my life than I ever have.
And shout out to Weber who gifted me a subscription to The Athletic just for the feedings.
Sure.
So now I'm like reading these like long think pieces about the Sixers and the Temple's football coaching search. And
it is funny. You get to the point where it's like he'll probably get to like 4 months and you'll realize his head will look towards the TV while you're feeding him and won't look away. And you realize like, oh man, I guess I got to stop watching TV during these.
Yeah, he already one look at John Buchik-Ross and was like, nope, I'm out.
you gotta listen to a podcast or something.
Yeah, no, but everything's going well.
You seem fine. You don't seem super out of it.
No, everything's going well. It's just it's a lot of work. Like I said last time, it's just that lot of moving parts.
And you're still a non-coffee guy after all this.
No coffee. Wow. But again, like I don't feel like I'm too sleep deprived.
Yeah, you are sleep deprived.
I am depraved.
Yeah, you're doing some fucked up shit in your sleep.
I am, but
yeah,
he does with the the leg kicks and the random spasms.
You seem good though, so I'm happy for you.
Yeah, well, it's cool that we're both together doing it at home, Yeah. But like once one of us has to go back to work, then it's almost like starting completely over again.
Yeah.
We're starting nanny interviews and all that.
That's a whole thing. We'll get to that.
So.
We'll talk about it. Let's take a quick break and then we'll come back with our guest. For you, the listeners of Sorry I've Been So Busy, Casper is offering $50 towards any mattress purchase at Casper.com. This is something we talk about all the time on the podcast. Everybody's so busy. They don't get enough sleep. Their sleep is interrupted. They got their phone by the bed. They're checking it in the middle of the night. We're not going to change any of these things, so why not get a better sleep on a better mattress from Casper.com? To receive $50 towards any mattress purchase, go to CasperTrial.com/SIBSB. Again, that's CasperTrial.com/SIBSB for $50 towards any mattress purchase. All right, we're back. Andrew, I took a little extra half second there. Andrew, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest for today? We're very excited to have him on.
I'm super excited. I met this guy, was in a writer's room with him on a show called 50 Central. And then the next thing I knew, he got booked on The Tonight Show to do stand-up. And so I'm super proud of him. He's a client of our mutual friend, Dave Kimowitz, the very talented Jourdain Fisher.
What's good?
What's going on, man?
Thanks for I know you do not have children.
I do not have children.
Young
that
man,
we know about.
This is early in the morning for you.
Yeah, this is early. And I don't have kids, but my friends just had their first kid, and they named me the Godfather.
Oh, that's hot. That's
yeah,
hot.
yeah. But it's interesting, all the social media stuff and the pictures you've been talking about, because I've been actually talking about that on stage, about how much people do take pictures of their
you're
children.
Significantly younger than Matt and I. So do you have pictures of yourself as a child?
Yeah, my mom's got the shoe boxes and stuff I've seen,
Right.
she's also like the hoardy type.
Yeah.
The way, you were saying your mom is. But Yeah, I've got plenty, but I just don't have them myself. She's got them. You
Yeah.
know? But I do think it's interesting the amount, because like my friends, they take pictures of their kids all the time. Like she walks around with this coaster that she thinks is like a phone, like the kid does. And I think it's interesting to see like what kids are going to be like with having that type of attention on them. And also too, it's like you post them on Instagram, and then you know, we have the feedback of likes and everything. I feel like as a kid, when you grow up, you're going to go back and look at your parents' feed.
I was super cute in that picture. Why did I only get like 12?
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, Mom, I only got 30 likes here. Like, what are you doing? Work the angles better.
And we're getting to the first, I think, generation of kids that have now, they're old enough to know what's going on, but young enough that their childhoods were on social media, where they're going to be like, You did what? Like you posted all like a 14-year-old knows like, oh, I wouldn't. Why did you post hundreds of pictures of me? Like
exactly.
I never said you could do that. It's just like, well, I'm your dad, I guess.
Put a shirt on me.
It's a weird thing where they're gonna like like you're old enough at least. Yeah, it's just in a shoebox.
Yeah, that was it.
They were still developed pictures. Like you had to go to the photo mat.
Yeah.
Or the drugstore.
I will say though, it's interesting because I do feel like, you go to like a kid's play now and everybody's just filming it instead of just watching it.
It's not good.
It's not good. But the flip side is, when you went to a kid's play like 25 years ago, there were like 3 dudes with like giant camcorders that were like the size of, and like,
hey, can you dub me a copy?
Yeah, but also that was the only thing to really watch back then. Like you could watch you could actually play those videos and it would be interesting.
Right.
But now there's so much content out. Like, are you really going to go back and watch your kids play?
No.
Again?
In fact, I haven't even.
It's like, have you seen Hot Ones? Like, that show's great. Like, I'm not going to watch.
No, I haven't gone back and watched our wedding video in years.
No, I don't think anybody ever watches it.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
I mean, similar but different. Like working in Times Square as much as I have, I've passed so many tourists taking pictures of like buildings and lights, and I'm like, what are you going to do with that photo?
Nothing.
Are you going to get back to Iowa and show people like, hey, look at this building I saw?
Yeah,
look at this cool sign.
Sometimes I'll go through like my iPhone, like my Google Photos or whatever, and I'm just like, why did I even care to take these pictures and just wipe them all? I'm like, this doesn't need to be on my phone.
Flip side is like when you were younger, you would take a picture of like a building and then you would like drive to a store to get it developed so that you could have a physical picture that you had. It was actually more work to get a picture of something that
I tell this story all the time. When I went abroad to England, I borrowed my dad's camera, and the one stipulation was, he goes, "You have to be in every picture. No pictures in nature.
Yeah,
I don't want any pictures in nature. I want you in every picture."
He's a selfie innovator.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not paying to develop pictures in nature.
But nobody looks at. But Instagram's like the new thing. That's why I think Instagram is good, because you can take a picture, upload it, and then it's whatever. You can see that one. That's fine.
Yeah,
because it's just one picture. But, like, it used to be people would show you a wallet. You're like, here's this thing, and here's this thing, and here's this thing.
Plastic folds.
Yeah, and you're like, I don't want to look at any of this. But now Instagram, we're trained, it's just like an endless father's wallet. You're just scrolling through everything.
That should be what older Instagram, like Instagram for older people, is just dad's wallet.
Yeah.
Spinstagram.
Yeah.
If you guys look at like, if someone sends you like a link to their like wedding album or their album of pictures from an event or something, and there's like hundreds of pictures, do you guys just look through them all just looking for pictures of yourself?
Yeah. No,
Yes.
I only look for the ones of myself. I see 3 and I'm like, all right, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, girl I used to date.
I don't know if that's like a comedian thing where you're just like, it's all about you, the ego, or if that's just a human nature thing.
No, I think it's human nature.
Yeah.
Jamie points that out about me. She's like, you're only looking at yourself in that photo.
Interesting thing.
Well, you just want to see how you came out. You
exactly.
don't care. It's like I saw my friends. I saw them there in person.
Yeah.
So I don't need to see them again.
Where'd you grow up? North Carolina?
Greensboro, North Carolina.
That's
wrestling country.
All of North Carolina is wrestling country.
That's a pretty big city, right?
No. Well, not really. It's one of the 3 major ones, I'd guess. Raleigh, Charlotte, and Greensboro.
Is it the west of North?
It's kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
You go 2 hours one way, you're at the beach. 2 hours another, you're in the mountains. So
You like cookout?
love cookout. I like will debate people online all the time.
My uncle lives in Raleigh. My cousins are from Raleigh, so they've always told me about Cookout. I've never gone.
Oh, you haven't?
I would love to go. Yeah.
What
is
you
it?
gotta go.
It's like well, you can explain what Cookout is.
Cookout is basically it's a fast food joint, but it's like bargain food.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But like barbecue.
Yeah, you get a tray. Like when you go to Cookout, you have to know how to order. Some people go there and they don't know how to fucking order, and it drives me up a wall.
So John Murray from Stuck in Murray, he was traveling through the South, and he was like, "I'm going in. Where should I go?" And I said, "If you see a Cookout, go," because everybody had told me how good Cookout is.
Yeah.
He went and hated it because.
He was
like, I
overwhelmed.
ordered, I don't know, I got this like weird meat, and it makes sense. I think you need to know how to operate.
Well, people go there because they have what's called trays. With a tray, you get an entree, 2 sides, and a drink, or a milkshake for $1 extra.
Oh.
Yeah, and they literally have like 45 different milkshakes. You can make all types of combos or whatever. But people,
Are you a milkshake with the meal kind of guy?
Depending.
Yeah, I kind
depending
of like
on
it.
the time. of the
I
night.
I like to order the milkshake during the meal. You know, you get it after. That's
No, yeah, you order it with yeah. So,
I like to get the milkshake right when I go to the bathroom.
but people go there and they're like, "Let me get a burger and let me get fries and a drink." It's like, no, you don't fucking order it separately. You get a tray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with a tray, you can literally either get a burger, a chicken sandwich, hot dog, whatever. But the sides are also entrees. They're like chicken nuggets, corn dog, quesadilla,
Wow.
like hush puppies, fries, whatever.
It's no joke.
Yeah, so you get 2 sides. So you could literally get 2 corn dogs as sides if you wanted.
Wow.
So
I really want to go.
yeah, it's fantastic. And then the thing is, like, you buy all of that and it's right under $6.
We got to take the show
gotta be
to the
healthy.
South.
Yeah.
good idea. Greensboro. I feel like I once went to a Hooters in Greensboro, North Carolina. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
Driving
Yeah,
like
that's where I
back
went
from
to
it,
them.
driving back from Atlanta or something.
Wait, which Hooters in Greensboro?
I don't know.
Was
The
it
good
on
one.
Wendover?
The good one. I don't know.
There's the
Maybe.
drive-through one.
Yeah.
And so you and your family was in a very interesting business.
Yeah, my family owns a funeral home. That's in Durham. So I would split time between Greensboro and Raleigh. My dad moved to Raleigh when I was a kid, so I would go there on the weekends, which is like an hour and a half outside of Greensboro. And my granddad lived in Durham, which is where we owned our family business.
Yeah.
So, and Durham's only 30 minutes away from Raleigh, so I spent a lot of time in Durham, like hanging out at my granddad's house.
Just
with
at
my uncle.
funerals?
Well, no, not so much at funerals, but I would go to the shop and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if I'm spending a day with my granddad and my uncle's only 4 years older than me, so he was like big brother, like when we were kids.
Yeah.
So
I
I
like
would,
that you refer to it as the shop, like
Yeah,
like
it's the
LeBron
shop.
is interviewing, like LeBron's interviewing Drake.
Yeah, in a casket.
right. We should do
The
that.
Undertaker.
That's a new show I'm going to have, the shop
Yeah.
with the funeral.
May I ask, was it an African American funeral home primarily, or was
Oh,
it?
yeah, of course, yeah.
Does,
We black.
is that like a thing? Like, I
It's
mean, like,
definitely
I think
a
so.
thing.
are
It's
there?
definitely a thing.
But like, I'm saying, I know it's a thing because I live in Harlem.
That'd
Obviously,
be a
so you see them all
fun
the time.
experiment to like bring your like 80-year-old
White.
Jewish grandmother
Yeah.
But like, here's my
and
question,
go
right?
to a black funeral home and be like,
Do
So-
something with this.
So
do something with it.
Just got a twisted wig.
obviously you've
Big
got
hat.
like what it's so funny to determine like what like kind of business has to be like black. Like obviously there's black barbershops, there's white barbershops, there's black churches and white churches, but like there's also churches where everybody goes, right? Like there's
Yeah.
some like there must be some funeral homes that are like, hey, everybody
there's
goes there.
definitely some funeral homes that mix it up. But if you a black funeral home, you a black funeral home,
Right.
Like,
No,
same way,
yeah.
like the barber, man. It's like from you know, that's literally you gotta be fresh to death. So there's a specific way
you
we
pick
do
out the
things.
casket
Yeah.
and you pick out the suit.
You're right. Yeah. We got the Steve Harvey collection.
That is so
Do you
fun.
want 8 buttons, 12 buttons, or 16 buttons?
Yeah.
Do you need to?
Did they try to get you to go into the family business at all?
They never forced it on me. You know, my dad wasn't like into it either.
Oh,
you know?
really?
Yeah. Like my granddad's heavy
Just
into
going
it.
through the motions.
Well, he did it for, you know, just money. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's a job right there at your disposal that
Yeah.
you can be.
Did you ever drive a hearse?
No, I did like bare minimum. Like
There
I
was a
remember
kid-
buying a suit just in case I was going to work for it, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, let me like get chairs and stuff like that. But
There was
nothing
a kid in my high school, like just dressed in all black, painted his face white, just like really never talked. and he drove a hearse to school.
Like for
That
fun?
is terrifying.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
And so I never saw him like. I mean, it's just so complicated. The coat and the chains and the boots with the straps and the black. It's just so much work. But I never saw him.
Big Jay Okerson.
Yeah, exactly. It was. He had cut off cut off gloves.
Yeah.
But no, I never saw him do anything. But he did get he got bullied and made fun of a lot. And
those some brave kids to bully him.
Not like directly,
Yeah.
but people would like talk about him and snicker. And so in a history class, he was sitting on like the far left of the room, and these kids were sitting on the far right of the room, and they definitely said something a little like loud about him. And I mean, this is probably like me looking back on it and like my kid memory, but like I swear he leapt 3 desks, like
Right.
like you know, like a vampire movie, and like just started choking the kid.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Until it got broken up. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
I
waiting.
mean, he
Like from
owns a
dusk till
hearse.
dawn.
It's
Like he
not-
just
yeah.
like changed
Oh, my
into
goodness.
Pacino, and he like Matrix leapt 3 desks.
Whoa.
But yeah, he was a character. I think his name was Barrett.
Sounds
Barrett.
about right.
He's
yeah.
probably listening.
Yeah. You don't want to pick on the kid who's already got it.
No, he has the transportation to
Yeah.
Oh, he's really
take you
living
to
the gimmick,
woods.
though.
Yeah, no,
he's like going
yeah.
to a used car lot and
Yeah.
being like, "I want that casket."
Yeah, he literally
A lot of storage,
he had the Undertaker at your
a
school.
lot of
A lot
room.
of for luggage. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you end up coming here to New York then?
I was doing comedy down in North Carolina for like 7 years. I started when I was 17. And then,
Cheering up bereaved families.
yeah, in Greensboro, in the surrounding areas, Greensboro, Charlotte, Raleigh, Wilmington, just all over the state.
Yeah.
And, started working the road here and there, like out of state. And then, it was one of those things where I was either going to move to New York or LA.
Yeah.
And I actually spoke to Dave Chappelle.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he came through Winston-Salem. This was like when he just came back around, whereas like when
When he came back from Africa.
yeah, probably a few years after that, where it was like Dave Chappelle's on doing shows, like it was almost where
right.
you didn't even believe like the tickets were real. Like
Right.
people were like, "Yo, Dave Chappelle's doing a show in Wednesday." You're like, "What?"
Right.
So I bought tickets for that, and he's the guy that like I grew up watching,
Sure.
So he came to the bar we were hanging out afterwards, and I spoke to him, and I was like, "Yo, I'm a comic. I'm thinking about moving to New York or LA." He was like, "I moved to New York. That's where I got my start, and that's where I hung out and stuff." And I was like, "All right, I guess that's where I'm going." So I moved to New York like 3.5 years ago.
Feels like that's a good person to listen to.
Yeah. Because I was leaning towards LA because I just didn't want to do New York
Yeah.
winters. But he was like, you should go to New York. It was a lot of stage time, and that's where I got good. And I was like, well,
Good thing
there
you
you
didn't
go.
ask Louis C.K. for advice.
I guess
He's like, how's your dick?
I guess the flip side would be like, well, let's see. I'm not Dave Chappelle, so maybe I should move to LA. I don't know, but I mean, nothing against
Yeah,
you, but it's
right.
like just do what Dave Chappelle did, and you'll be Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know. It's
But that's pretty cool that you were even able to walk up to him and ask him that.
Yeah. That was like.
I mean, what were you like 19, 20?
No, I was.
21? I'll keep going.
I was probably 23, 24.
well, he was real young when he started.
Yeah, he was 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I started. I was a rising senior in high school, so I was 17.
Yeah.
I did it for a senior project at school.
So you moved to New York, you packed up the hearse, and you just like
Yeah.
hit the road, hit
Yeah.
hit I-95.
Yeah, and
Drum up some business on the way.
Yeah,
boom,
yeah,
boom,
yeah,
boom.
Yeah, it's like I'm
Yeah.
sending you one down, Granddad. Yeah, and I moved directly to Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, which I didn't know existed.
Well, it's in songs.
Is it?
I don't. Well, no, it's more mobster related, right?
Yeah. I mean, now that I've like lived there, I've learned a little bit of history about it and
Yeah.
everything. It's totally changed.
Right.
Because
It's not what it used to be. Because if you watch any of those mob documentaries, there were like social clubs on every corner, and
Yeah.
the basements were
It used to be predominantly Italian neighborhood, and now it's like Asian, which is
right.
interesting how that even happened.
That's like a push food wise.
I guess. I went into the Asian supermarket this week, and I asked one of the stockers, I was like, "Can I get some kimchi?" And he was like, no. I was like, kimchi. And he's like, no, speak English. I was like, neither am I. This is your word. like you should know where it is.
That's so funny. Yeah. Oh man.
so funny.
I thought maybe because I watched your set, which was fucking great, by the way, from the Tonight Show. And I thought maybe you lived in Harlem because you mentioned Harlem and you talked about the gentrification of Harlem in a way that I was like,
Matt lives in Harlem.
I'm that guy. I mean, it was almost like about me, but I was like, no, he gets it. That's why I thought maybe you lived in Harlem.
No, my girl lives in Harlem. Oh, okay. So I spent enough time there.
From Bensonhurst to Harlem, that's not easy. That's
not.
like the Seinfeld, where it's like she lives at
First and First,
the nexus of the universe. Well, I can't date her.
Yeah, it's weird because New York is such a contained city, and it's a long distance relationship. You know? We're only technically 12 miles away from each other. Like North Carolina, that's a 15-minute drive.
You guys just meet up at the Port Authority to hang out.
Meet me at the Man jerking off. No, basically it'll just be because I have shows and stuff, so the shows are in the city, so I'll just go over after shows or whatever. Yeah. Or if I have a night off, she'll come over after work or whatever. So. Yeah, we make it work. She comes over on the weekends. She'll watch wrestling at my place, Sunday pay-per-view. So
coming up,
jealous. She's got a
tables, ladders, chairs.
Girl who watches wrestling. I mean, geez, it's like your dream.
I used to. When you're dating and then you get married and she's like, I don't need to watch this anymore.
Yeah. She's like, I beat it. We went to WrestleMania together. It was a lot of fun. She had a great time.
I double dated to WrestleMania in New Orleans with.
You were there too?
Peter Rosenberg and his wife. The first New Orleans WrestleMania, before 6 years ago.
Okay. 30.
We went down.
Yeah.
With them.
We went to this one. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's super fun.
What was this? So, can you tell the story about the set and the?
Yeah. So, I heard it from Kimowitz, but obviously, we'll get into the day of you doing the Tonight Show set. But I don't know. I know, you went to Montreal and had a really successful run. And would you say that kind of jump started the train to get you?
Yeah, because I had done this over the past year and a half or whatever had been kind of just this build. So I did stand up NBC, and I was one of the finalists last year in LA. And Michael Cox, the booker of the Tonight Show, was there for that.
So that's like an NBC showcase.
Yeah.
Is it a diversity showcase? Or
they used to be called Stand Up for Diversity. They since changed it just to Stand Up NBC, where we're just if we're going to be diverse, we have to be for everybody. So, but I did that, made it to the finals, and, did well there, which, and the booker of JFL, Jeff, was there. So he saw me do well there, so that kind of sticks in his mind. Then he sees me do well at the JFL auditions, go to JFL, do well there. Actually, Michael Cox, he was supposed to be at JFL. He was there, but he had to leave the day I did my set because he gave birth to his twins.
Oh, okay.
But then he heard, that I had a great set.
This was last year?
This was this year.
This was summer.
July,
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So, he texts Dave and is like, hey, heard Jourdain had a great set. Let's get his Tonight Show, set together. We got to get him on the show. And I was like, dope. So get back here. A few months later, they have a Tonight Show showcase. Did that. And it went well, and then they put me on the board or whatever, and
so
then
cool.
And then a few then a month later, Dave's like, "Hey, are you available this date?" We got
so how far in advance?
You're like, I got a couple shows at New York Comedy Club.
Well, it was funny because the first avails check, I was actually out of town. The first two avails checks, I was out of town, and then he was like, "Send me your calendar," so I know what dates you're open.
Right. Yeah.
And then he called. He was like, "You're booked on the 29th." I was like, "Okay,
that's good. That's confidence to because I would have been if there was a time in my life where if somebody was like, "Hey, can you do it this date?" I'd be cancel everything, whatever I have that, I know I don't need to go to my brother's wedding, I'll just do the, it's but you're no, send me a different date. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I had to make that money.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah. So, so how far in advance do you find out about your date? Or
2 weeks.
So you have 2 weeks.
Yeah, you call me 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was a good news, bad news kind of thing.
Well, so that's what I was getting at, Dave. So a big part of your Montreal set was talking about the funeral home, and the premise. I mean, you can talk about, but then you ended up having to cut that part out of your Tonight Show set. So
I did the funeral home stuff in Montreal and in the Tonight Show showcase, which basically I opened saying I have my family's funeral home, and we grew up. It's in the hood basically. So if any of y'all heard gunshots, you might have got nervous when we heard gunshots. It's going to be a good Christmas.
Yeah.
So
it's a great joke.
yeah, and you know, it was great joke. Is like the set I have been,
And that's your opener.
Yeah, that's my opener.
So-
So it's like, and this is the set I've been showcasing with, like, that's been
Yeah.
getting me all these, like, you know, accolades and stuff. So, Dave calls me and is like, hey, good news is you're booked for the Tonight Show. It's going to be awesome. You're going to have a great time. Bad news is they cut the funeral home joke.
Yeah.
You can't do that because of, you know, the recent shootings and things that are going on in America. And I was like, shit. Like, he's like, but you got the Tonight Show. I'm like, yeah, I know. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, of course you're happy, but as a comedian, you just start going into thinker's mode where it's like, all right, now what kind of adjustments can we make?
Yeah. What becomes your plan B?
Yeah. Well, at first I wanted to do a joke about like how my dad was very into juicing when I was growing up. Yeah, because he used to, like, I mean, it was serious. Like, he was very health conscious. Like, when I was a kid, like, he used to make me eat bananas all the time.
Well, he's seeing all these dead bodies all the time.
Yeah,
So
he's like,
I don't want
I never
to.
thought about it. Yeah, he's like, this is not
I ain't
the
going
best
out
of me.
like
I ain't
this.
going out like this. Get the juice. Get the juices. So yeah, he would. But I had a joke saying, like, you know, like, he would grind up all of this juice and give me a steaming glass of beet juice, and I'm like 9 years old, and that's when your body's going through changes. And I would drink all that and go to the bathroom and went back to my pops like, hey, bro, I think I got my period. And I sent that as, like, the first, like, how about this one? And Cox was like, no.
You're like, I got this good 13-minute thing on rape.
Yeah.
How about that? Can I do my
Yeah,
rape joke?
Yeah. So I was like, damn,
No?
okay.
Okay.
And so you just start, like, I literally just start going through, like, the Rolodex of stuff that I have, like, pulling up, like, old YouTube videos and everything.
Right.
And I ended up landing on the jokes that ended up in the set, starting with how I broke my leg at a trampoline park when I was 24. And I haven't told that joke in forever. Like, I mean, probably since I moved up here.
Yeah.
I haven't even mentioned that. So it's been like 4 years since I've told that joke. So you're sitting there like, okay, how am I going to...
Right, finding the rhythm again of the joke and transitioning into your next one.
Yeah.
Well, I think it worked. I mean, like, it's almost like a perfect scenario because basically you had a killer set, you did great, and now you have this whole other bit that you can still use on a
That
different
nobody
level.
has seen on national TV.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they go see you live, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly.
He does some edgier stuff.
Right, yeah. So I ended up using that, and then, like, the DARE program joke, which, I mean, that joke, it's so funny because, like, at least 3 of the jokes in there are jokes that I would use just kind of as, like, fluff in a way, where it's just like, oh, like, this is fun, but I never, like, looked at it as, like, staples of my set or whatever. But, like, yeah, that DARE joke I would just, like, say sometimes just as, like, a goof on stage, and then, like, after, like, looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is actually, like, pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I should do this, you know? But yeah, and people loved it. Like, after, like, it went online and everything, people would be like, oh, I remember the song or whatever.
Yeah.
Or people were like, there was a DARE song and shit.
Yeah,
like that.
anytime you have like a performance chunk, like feature in your set, any kind of like act out, it's memorable.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to do because, like, so many sets on late night are very, like, set up punch.
Yeah.
And I'm not that at all. Like,
Right.
Was that your first TV set? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You seemed so confident. Like, you didn't seem like, were you nervous? Because you didn't seem
I
nervous.
was super nervous going into it.
Yeah.
Well, first, we'll talk about that in your day, but how was the week of like warm up? If you get the Tonight Show, can you call up any club, be like, hey, I got to test out my Tonight Show set?
Well, people got word of it because, like, I posted it, and, like, you know, I got enough friends in comedy that were, like, I guess gracious enough to be like, hey, like, if you need to run your set, like, just come through to my
humble
show.
brag. Yeah.
Well, also, it's a lot easier to ask someone, like, to do 5 minutes. Like, hey, can I just do 5
For sure,
minutes? You know, whatever.
for sure. But, like, you know, and it wasn't like just clubs or whatever. Just be like comics that just have their own shows.
Yeah,
They're like, yo, like, if you need to run your 5, just like let me know. I was like, oh, that's awesome. You know, thank you. And you know, I've worked my way into enough rooms where it's like I would just use my regular spots the first 5 minutes of like a 15-minute set just to like run the set. But then, you know, the booker also hooks you up with like sets the week of.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was running my set probably 3 times a night every night for like a week and a half.
Well, that's like the new version of that's like the 2018 version of, you know, in the 80s, if a comedian got a Tonight Show set, he would bring all of his buddies with them
Yeah.
in the green room. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that happens anymore, but now
Yeah.
it's like everybody has their show and they're like, yo, do it,
Right.
work it out
Yeah.
on our show.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that is. Yeah.
And then like the watch party and and we'll get into that as well. But you were very vocal on social media about like, yo, I got this. It's happening.
Yeah, like I wanted.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I wanted to share it with everybody and just be like, I wanted the watch.
Because that's
party to be
risky
cool.
because you could get bumped. The show
Right.
could get preempted if there's if there's an emergency. So,
Yeah.
but that's cool that you just did it.
Yeah, I asked them like
on
5
social media.
times. I double checked. I was like, "Yo, is it airing the night of?"
I
Or,
didn't
like,
post
the night
about
after?
mine when I did. I didn't post about it until like hours before because I was
Oh,
just
wow.
like, you never know, like cut for time, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So you want to just go?
Yeah, we'll get into your day
of.
of the day of the set.
Yeah.
So like
We get real into the minutia, so you
Okay.
can start from like waking
So,
up.
well, first of all, I imagine like on a normal day, you're doing sets out at night, so you're probably like you're out late, sleep late.
Yeah. Yeah. So this. Okay. So I filmed on Thursday.
Right.
Wednesday night, I ran the set 3 times. The first set being at the Comedy Cellar, which was my first time ever performing there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, I still want to get into the
Yeah,
cellar.
right.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
so
great.
it's like, but the great thing about that is like, the cellar itself like has this huge aura about it, and the history and everything. So I get to play at the cellar, but
I watch Crashing. I know.
yeah. But the great thing about it was I get to go in there and do the set and not have the pressure of like, oh, I'm playing the cellar. Like,
Am I gonna get past?
yeah, am I gonna get past? It's like, this isn't even about that. Like, I
Right.
got to get this set down for television. So I got to go in there and just kind of like be like free about it.
Yeah.
And it went well. I was like, and then I followed Jim Norton too, which was like, oh shit, like I got to follow like somebody like people know.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just going to come up here and do some like 5
Did they
minutes.
put
of
it in
some
your
random dude.
intro? So people
yeah.
were like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they were like, the next guy coming to the stage is like
Yeah.
going to be on the Tonight Show tomorrow.
So, yeah.
Which helps, people
It-
are like,
of course.
oh, okay.
Precondition.
Yeah, but after doing that set at the cellar, I was like, oh, okay, like this is another stage. Like I could do this club. So did that, then shot up to Stand Up New York. That one was all right, and then went to New York Comedy Club, and that night, that was a bad room that night. So
it's a Wednesday, so
Yeah.
some of this, other clubs are,
yeah. And I love all 3 of those rooms. It's just like the
Yeah.
last show that I did that night, it didn't end well, but I already felt satisfied. I was like, the first one went well, so it's like, we got the set.
Yeah. And
so-
also sometimes, they say bad rehearsal, good show.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, like the whole SNL model. Like,
Yeah.
you have a hot rehearsal, and it's like, oh, shitty show.
Yeah.
So go home. My dad actually called me like, Wednesday morning, and was like, hey, like, I'm gonna try to come up to see you on the Tonight Show or whatever. My mom.
First, I got to make this pomegranate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He would do that too.
Picking the seeds
He
out.
would do that. But the thing is, like, my mom was already coming into town. She was already there. She was gonna be there like Wednesday through Saturday or whatever. My parents have been divorced since I was 5. I have a small New York apartment, and I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
you're gonna come? Like, mom's already staying here. Like, I don't know where.
You're like, can I just focus on the set?
Yeah,
here?"
yeah.
And not big, yeah.
So he takes the mega bus up, and like from 12 hours from 3 a.m. Wednesday to 8 a.m. Thursday.
Wow.
I
Probably telling everybody on the bus.
yeah, my son gonna be on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, sure,
Like,
sure.
fuck out of here.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, he could afford you a plane ticket. So the night of, like, sleep, and I was waking up with sweats.
Wow.
Like, during the week leading up to it. So, like, I mean, literally Wednesday night, I would lay, like, as soon as I laid in the bed, my feet would start sweating and my hands would start sweating, and I just, like, wake up just, like, hot and drenched. Because my mind just wouldn't rest.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I would lay my head on the pillow, I'd just start running the set over and over again, like, trying to get the first joke out. Because, like I said, I haven't told that leg-breaking joke in 4 years. So I'm sitting here trying to, like, make sure I have the right wording
Right.
of it over and over again. Because I knew that if I got through the first 2 jokes, then the rest would be a breeze. So wake up Thursday morning. Backtrack a little bit. The outfit is what made me wake up so early.
Oh, okay.
Well, so
Thursday.
you kind of you what's the word? You put this whole search on social media, like looking for the right fit.
Yeah. Yeah, because the thing is, the jacket I ended up wearing is from a store in Durham called Runaway. and it's this own independent store. And I was like, yo, I want to rep North Carolina.
That's cool.
So I had seen that jacket a few months earlier and didn't buy it. And then my mom went into the store one day and she ended up buying it for me as an early Christmas present. And then I told her I got the Tonight Show and she shipped it up to me because I was like, I'm going to wear that on the show. And I texted the booker like 2 days before. I was like, yo, are there any outfit restrictions? He's like, yeah, try to avoid all black. Any obvious logos, things like that. And I sent him a picture of the jacket, which is black and has a huge like R on it. And it says Runaway on it. And I was like, so this kind of falls under that, doesn't it? He's like, yeah, it's black and it's got a huge logo on it, but I can try. I was like, shit. Okay. So that's when I put like the search out on Instagram, like, yo, like, where can I go? So I ended up hitting like Zara and like getting like 3 different jackets and, different shirts and different pants and all these things. I bought like black shoes, and he was like, you got to get shoes with contrast in them. So like shoes were black, but they had like a white, bottom. And I was like, oh, that'll do. And then I showed him the outfit. He's like, yeah, it looks good, but the shoes are black. Like, you're just going to be floating and everything. I was like, shit. So I woke up the morning of, basically Thursday morning, to go get shoes, like to go into the city to get shoes. I woke up probably like, I don't know, 7:30 or something like that.
The first guy at DSW.
Yeah, seriously. So like the stores all open at like 10 or whatever. My dad was getting in like right around the same time at 8, from the megabus. Yeah. So I just meet him out in the city and we just start going to these shops, and I'm like literally still finding like different jackets, because it still wasn't approved. So went into Zara looking for a specific jacket. They didn't have it in stock yet. I picked a different one, picked like 2 pair of khaki pants just because. I was like, like I'll take these. Didn't even try them on in the store. Go to Converse, pick up a pair of white Jack Purcells and then this other pair of shoes that I ended up wearing on the show. And I get back home and I text the booker. I was like, yo, is there any way this jacket could get approved? Because like the one I had that I was going to wear, had it not, was like this silver kind of like velvety type thing.
Yeah.
And, like a white button down and black pants. And it looked cool. I liked it. But if I tuck the shirt in, I look like a valet.
I love how deep this goes. Because I don't know. I'd be so neurotic about like, I don't want to annoy the booker. So I'm like, forget the jacket.
I just wanted to like look like how I like to present myself, because I didn't want to do the suit.
You certainly look different than, because I always think it's weird when like a comedian who doesn't wear suits goes on like one of those shows and then like is wearing a suit.
Right. No, I'm not a suit.
No, you got to think about it too, because I'll tell you, because I did a thing on Comedy Central in 2005 and I brought a dark purple shirt to wear, and then I didn't even think about that hard. And then everyone else in the show, there were 2 other guy comics, they're both wearing black shirts, and they said, your shirt looks too similar to theirs. Can you wear your backup? And the backup, I brought this like bright green shirt that I wore, and I was like, and now I look back at that, I'm like, I look ridiculous. Why did I let myself wear that? Right. So it's like, you want to think about it. You want to,
because like I get like people wear suits, but it's like, that's old school. Like so many, like, the 80s and everything. People wore suits on there, and no knock to like comics that wear suits on the show. I get it, but even like Gerard Carmichael has a big thing about that, like about how late night says, he's like, why are we pretending? Like I know you don't wear suits, on the regular when you're performing. So I was like, I just want to present myself the way I usually am, but like dress it up but still look fly. So I texted him. I was like, yo, is there any way this jacket could get approved? He was like, I haven't submitted it, but I can check. And he texted me back 30 minutes later, like, jacket approved. I was like, fuck it. Like, I know exactly what I'm wearing. So,
like all locks in.
Yeah, so it was like, white shirt, khakis, and then, the jacket itself and the kicks. And I was like, that was a
MAGA
huge
hat.
relief. Yeah.
Really brought the whole thing together.
As I go out there and talk about white-black relations on today's show. But yeah, so that was like, boom, okay, huge relief off my shoulders. So at that time, it's what? Maybe.
Do you return a lot of that stuff?
I still need to. I have a lot of stuff because I probably spent like.
I was gonna say
$1,000 or more.
You gotta take those khaki pants back.
Yeah, no, I'll keep the khakis, but I spent like $1,000 or something just like on options. So there's a lot of returns I need to make. But yeah, so it's about 12 at that point. I feel relieved that I've got the outfit, and you're just waiting. the car comes at like 2:30.
Yeah.
So I'm just kicking it with my parents, and my girl is there, and she's like, my mom knows, like, she's seen me perform since I was a kid, so she knows how I get, like, as far as, like, when I'm preparing.
Yeah.
It's like I just kind of zone out.
Yeah.
And I just want to be left alone, and that you don't have to check up on me. Like, I may look like I'm, like, angry, but I'm not. Like,
But your
everything's
dad's
fine.
like, what's this button do?
Yeah. Like sometimes, like, my girl just be like, babe, is there anything you need? I'm like, I'm good. I promise you. Like, you don't have to check. Or, like, my dad's like, what's going on? Like, Jordan, get my, and it's like, I'm not thinking about that right now. And my mom just knows how to, like, just pull back.
Yeah.
So we get in the car at 2:30, and I just pass out. Like,
Are you eating at all during this?
I had
this day?
half a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
In the morning.
in the morning.
And then that was it.
That was it.
Staying hydrated. Juicing.
Yeah. I was drinking water, but I mean, my nerves are just like through the roof. You know? Like, and I'm excited, but I know that, like, for me, like, if I'm nervous, like, it's good. Like, I'm gonna, want to put that energy into the performance. So,
Does the whole crew get in the car when it arrives?
yeah, it's my parents and my girl, and of course myself, and then James was our driver. And,
Shout out to James.
shout out to James. So, I mean, I was asleep for most of the drive, like, noise canceling headphones on, just, like, closed off. My girl's like rubbing my leg and, like, holding my hand and stuff, and a lot of times, like, I'd be like, okay, like, just kind of have to, like, brush her off a little bit, and she gets it.
Sure.
So we get to 30 Rock, and there's, like, all the traffic from the tree and stuff going on, So it's just, like, super busy. You get in there, there's 2 people there to meet you. They check you in, and then you go upstairs to, I think, the 4th floor or something like that. And, Michael Cox is there with you, and he's, like, giving you the rundown, basically, of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, here's your dressing room. There's another dressing room right next to it that has nothing in it. So, if you want to be in there as well, like, should you need some time alone. Jimmy's going to come meet you before the show. We're going to do a dress rehearsal at 4. And after that, you're just basically going to wait.
You're just gonna chill,
Yeah, you're going to do hair and makeup, and you're going to, get your clothes steamed or whatnot. And the show taping is going to start at 5. They're going to run through the show, and, you can watch the show on these monitors here, and, just hang out and, do you. And so, yeah, that's basically exactly what happens. So you get there at 3:45. I'm waiting. He's telling me these things. I think I can't remember if Black Thought came before or after the dress rehearsal, but he came over and introduced himself to us, which was awesome.
I was going to mention that
That's pretty
because
cool.
I heard the Roots laughing during your set, which must be a big confidence boost.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I heard them on the tape. I'm not sure if I was aware.
Oh, really? That's
whether
funny.
I could hear them.
Well, it's one of those.
during it.
One of the, like, low key fun things about the Tonight Show now is listening for Questlove's laugh during like comedy bits.
Yes,
because it's so unique.
It's
and
so unique.
It's like Ed McMahon back in the day. You would hear that, like, gruff, belly laugh, but now you hear, like, Quest all the way from, like, the right of the stage.
Right. Yeah, which was dope. Like, but when you're on the stage, it's like just kind of this tunnel moment. But so it's like 4:00. He takes me out there. He's like, okay, put the shoes that you're gonna wear on the show on, so we can see. So go out there and you see the studio and everything, and it's more compact than you'd expect. Like the stage itself, as far as the spacing. So the band is closer to you than you expect. The desk isn't as far as you'd expect. There's a part in my act where I'm singing the song about the North Star, and usually I kind of would turn around more in that song. But they told me, they were like, don't turn around all the way because you're going to be looking right at Jimmy, serenading him with this song. So you run your entire set to an empty room.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's not always typical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes they're just like, just get a sound check, get the first, half of the first joke, and you're good.
Yeah. So, like, the crew that I was with came out and, like, sat in the audience as I ran the set to just the cameramen, basically. and
They're all giving you notes.
Yeah, which was actually good, like to get a feel of like where it was, like seeing the 4-leaf clover right there, seeing the star probably about 2 feet in front of it, knowing how far you can move, and just getting a feel of the space and the timing or whatever. So like when I ran that set to an empty room, it came in at 4:30, which was perfect, because with the laughter and everything, it's going to get spaced out. So
all those applause breaks.
More applause breaks than I expected.
I know. I was going to say it was like it ended up being like a 6-minute set.
Yeah, it ended up clocking in at like 6:15.
Which is they usually give you 5.
They give you 5, like,
but they time it out. So it's like if it goes 6, that's
Yeah. Because Cox was like adamant, like when we were running the set, he was like, get it to 5, get it to 5, get it to 5. Like there were certain little lines here and there that I was cutting throughout the week.
Yeah.
As far as like just making sure the timing was down. And making sure that I wasn't going over. So after you run it, I just went into the back and I was just pacing around, for the next, hour,
Well, it gets pretty hectic there in the hallway.
It does, yeah. You can see them like, bringing in props or whatever they need to. He took me to like the little Jim Henson hallway that's like, that's got all this Jim Henson memorabilia and everything.
Yeah.
Which is dope. And, my agent and manager are back there talking about what have you. And I'm just, going up and down the halls, just like repeating things in my head over and over and over again.
How much were you on your phone?
Not much. I don't think at all. I may have like put it on airplane mode and like didn't even look at it. I wasn't about that. Like
you weren't like, yo!
Right, yeah, no.
Live blogging?
No, yeah. But Jimmy came and met me. And he was like, hey, like, thanks for being on the show. Like, you're going to have a lot of fun. Like, it's going to be great. Like, the booker's been talking about you. Like, I'm excited to have you on and everything. And he was like very sweet and genuine, which was nice. And, took pictures with, myself and the family and everything. It was so cool. Like, it was cool to like, be on a show that, I've watched since college, and the person who runs it is like actually like nice and sweet,
awesome.
to you. So then they take you in the makeup, which lasted like 30 seconds,
Yeah.
And it was funny because like I brought my own like what's called a sponge brush, like for my hair, like that's like what makes it curl. And the lady's like, all right, so you need a brush or anything? I was like, I usually brush my hair with a sponge brush. And you could see them kind of be like, we might. I don't know if we need. And I was like, I have one.
Yeah.
It's okay. I brought one, so don't worry about it.
I feel like I was reading, I think it must have been Roy Wood Jr. had like a tweet recently about how like shows really need to be better about like having like
black
a person,
products.
like a person who knows how to do black hair,
right?
And
Yeah,
and how it's like an important, like in terms of like making you feel welcome.
We have hair picks for
right? Yeah, exactly.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah. I literally almost wanted to ask him like, I got to pick. I know y'all got to pick because Quest is here.
Those are just props.
Yeah. So after that, they steam my clothes. I get dressed, and I come out in the outfit. And Mike sees it, and he's like, "That's perfect. That's exactly, that's you. That's gold." And I was like, "Great. Like, I feel comfortable." So, I'm sitting there, just still in my head about everything. I go into the separate green room, the one with nobody in it. And I'm watching, like, you see Claire Foy on the screen, doing her.
Right, I was going to ask, who were the other guests?
I guess we're
Claire Foy, because she was hosting SNL.
Yeah, and
upstairs.
Mike Birbiglia.
Oh,
yeah.
Doing panel.
Yeah,
that's so fun.
He was promoting his show, the new one, which I just saw two nights ago, which was great.
Yeah,
great. It's a great hour. So you're watching the monitor, and you're seeing these people on as you're running your set, and it's really quick.
Yeah.
When you watch the show on TV, it seems long just because of commercial breaks. But in real life, each person's segment is 6 minutes?
Yeah.
If they're not doing games and everything.
Yeah.
And the commercial breaks are short because they're fake, So I mean, Claire goes up, then Mike is on, and I'm like, all right. And when Mike is on, they come in, the guy's like, all right, 5 minutes. And I'm like, okay. And then next thing you know, another person's coming in, we're gonna mic you up. So,
Did you have a choice to have a hand mic or be
question.
laved?
Oh no! Well, they did both. They laved
Yeah.
me, but they gave me a hand, and I wanted a mic.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't
you need that because I think Colbert does they don't have the mic.
Oh,
Some
really?
some of them.
Most places will give you
Like,
the option.
It's got to be so weird for a working comedian to all of a sudden like not have
Be
a mic.
micless,
Like, what
yeah.
do you do with your hands?
Well, I've done. It was funny. Like probably like 2 months ago, I did a show, and the sound system went out, so they didn't have a mic or whatever. So we were doing it with just our hands, and it is a freeing aspect in a way, but it almost makes you
But then
overly performative.
You feel like you're doing
know?
a TED talk
Yeah.
instead of comedy.
Yeah. You start really using your hands in a way that you've never used them before. You know, you start
You're
doing
throwing
this-
the charts and
yeah,
graphs.
yeah. You're doing the Trumps where he like keeps opening
Yeah.
and closing. You know. As soon as Mike is done, I literally just walked out my green room on my own, and I'm standing behind the booker, and he turns around. And he's like, "Oh, you're here. Like, you're ready." I was like, "Let's do this shit." So just like 8 Mile down the hallway, and you're backstage, and it's pitch black back there. You got the stagehand with you. They do like one little final like look over on you just to make sure you look good. And Jimmy's still doing promos with Mike Birbiglia. You know, he's like just repeatedly saying like, "Oh,
Doing, like, the
thanks so
local-
much to the
Hey,
local,
Janet,
yeah,
Bill, and,
exactly,
yeah, like with Mike
The
Birbiglia
affiliate
and,
promos?
yeah, and Jourdain Fisher's coming up next. So you hear your name like 5 times over and over. Jourdain Fisher's coming up next, and so after he's done
Someday,
with
if
that,
your career gets big enough,
Yeah.
like us, you may get to write affiliate promos.
Yeah,
maybe
do
you
that.
may get lucky
I
enough.
would do that.
Yeah.
So right before you go on, Jimmy basically speaks to the audience and is like, "Hey, like the next person coming out is a comedian. He's making his late night TV debut. You know, his parents are in the audience. You know, so you guys are gonna love him. I remember him saying he's funny, he's charming, he's such a nice guy. Like you guys are really gonna love him. So just make him feel welcome. Like he's gonna make you laugh and just give him all the energy that you can and make his debut like special." And I was like, okay, like here it goes. And they lead you behind the curtain. And next thing you know, you're hearing him do like the real intro.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like this is the moment. And it's surreal because you're hearing it, but you're kind of in just like this autopilot mode. Because he's like, "All right, please welcome Jourdain Fisher." And then the curtain opens and you're just walking out and it's just all this energy coming at you. Yeah, because like the first
the
time
Roots are playing.
Yeah, because the first time I did it, he walked out the
Silence.
curtain and there's nothing there, and then all of a sudden it's just like all these people just like, yeah, like here you are, and the reaction I had was like genuine, where it's like my face lit up and I'm just like, hey, like just like almost like taken by surprise by like,
Oh shit, you guys are here?
Yeah, because you're so used to doing comedy in clubs where people give you applause, but it's not like
prove it.
Yeah.
That's how I always felt. Is like it's not nerve-wracking to do a TV set because, in a way, because you're gonna crush. Like though they're so riled up where it's like you can't. They put in a situation where like all you have to do is do what you do, and you're not gonna. You're
gonna win.
Yeah, that's what they made apparent to me. Like because Cox kept telling me like, hey, like they're gonna love you. The set's killer.
Yeah.
Like they're so jazzed to see like Jimmy and like the celebrities that are on the show. They're just happy to be in New York.
Yeah.
They're happy to be taking a part of something that they see on television that's hard to get like tickets to and everything. Like they're just excited.
You've already won.
Yeah. So go out there and just like get through the first joke. The first joke gets an applause break, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Like, this is in good shape. And
So
the
this
second
like
joke,
Plan B old joke from like the archives
Yeah.
gets an applause break.
Yeah.
And I know from I was at the Tonight Show for a very short period of time, and I produced the stand-ups during that chunk. They do not lean on the applause button.
Yeah.
They do not.
Okay, that's dope. Yeah.
So that it's all like genuine.
Yeah. So like, get through the leg breaking joke, do the dare joke, that gets an applause break. I was like, okay. And then, go into the whole race material, which is like, it's great that they let me do the race relation material, because so much late night sets are very just, I guess just, that they have to be kind of appeal to the masses type deal. And especially like for black comics, like, there's so many of us that do talk about race and everything in our sets as it is, that it can be hard to like, do that kind of stuff on television. So I was like, oh, like, it's great that I get to like be true to like what I am, like, and like what I talk about on the reg. So do that, and that kills. And then go into the final bit, the North Star bit, like after the dragon eggs joke, the avocado shit, like people, that has gotten a lot of attention online.
Well, because avocado toast is like, that's the trendy.
Yeah, people like will like literally comment or like message me and just be like, yo, like, I'm calling them dragon eggs from now. I'm not calling them avocados ever again. Yeah. But yeah, so, and the North Star bit too was a bit that was like a throwaway for me. Like that was one of those things where it's like, I didn't start telling it again. Probably like I started recently telling it maybe a year ago. Yeah. Because I had mentioned it back in North Carolina a time or two. And I think like when Obama was president, and it like got laughs or whatever, but it was just one of those jokes where I was like, oh, that was fun anyway.
Yeah. It didn't really make sense. Now it's timely.
Yeah. Like it like people laughed at it, but it was just one of those things I just didn't think like had weight in a way, because it's kind of local to like what my hometown or whatever. But since doing it in New York, I was like, there's something more to this, I guess. And then like being able to do it with a callback now, like, has made the bit like more solid. So yeah, like, so even the closing bit was one of those things where it's like some throwaway bit that I had done before, but now it's like, oh, like this has more gravity to it than I expected. So close with that. And standing ovation, which was like, holy shit, like,
that's great.
Like,
couldn't Jimmy comes over.
Jimmy comes over, which was funny because like Cox told me, he was like, yo, when you're done, like, take in the moment of the applause. Yeah. He's like, people are gonna, cheer for you, and don't turn, and like wait for Jimmy to come to you. Just face the camera, like take it in, and Jimmy's going to be next to you, and he's going to be like, great job, like give it up for Jourdain, and then he's going to run into the audience, and the stagehand is going to get you, and it's going to go just like that. And that's exactly what happened. So like they applaud, they stand up, Jimmy comes over to me, and it was like those moments in the Call of Duty games where, like you get like blown up and then you like come to, and then some guy's in your face like, soap, we got to get out of here. They're like heads all big or whatever. And that's what it felt like. Jimmy's just next to me, just like, hey, that was great. And like you can see it on the tape, my face, where I turned around where I'm like, whoa, like shocked that he's like right there. And then, it's just like that. And he runs up, into the audience, like, say goodbyes to everybody, and then the stagehand comes and gets me, and you can like if you're watching the actual show itself closely, you can see me do like this like Tiger Woods fist bump like to myself. Like I was just like, yes, like, and like go on stage, and like anytime like I have like a good set like that, it feels like feels like LeBron, like when he dunks, where he's just like yelling into the crowd, like, King. It's just like, of course, I'll never like, do that to anybody, but like just internally, I'm like, thank you. Like, it's just this relief, like, that it went well.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then you get to the green room, everybody's.
Yeah. My parents come back there. My mom and my girlfriend are crying, like, everybody's excited about it. My roommate came with me. He's also from North Carolina, and he was like, yo, that was some G shit. Did
you go out and party afterwards?
Yeah, we went to a place called John's for Italian food, which was awesome. I still could barely eat. Right. I probably had 5 bites of food. We went to Amity Hall, which is a bar. It's a Panthers bar, actually, down in the Village. Had the watch party, had my old fashioned, I rarely drink, but like when I, it's like victory drink.
And they put the Tonight Show on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a bunch of comics come in. Also, like a lot of people from North Carolina that are like comics that have moved up here, or just like friends in general that from North Carolina that moved up here. They all came to the watch party. And it was dope. Like, it was great that the comics, like, people were laughing, like, at the watch party. It wasn't like, you could tell it wasn't like just like, oh, we're laughing, just Jourdain's here. It was like, oh, like, people are enjoying the set. Yeah. Like, in the comics, like, all gave me great feedback afterwards. They were like, nah, like, that was really good. Like, like, that was, one of my friends, Monroe, He's a comic.
Oh
in
yeah,
the
sure,
city.
we know Monroe. Yeah,
Past guest of the pod.
Monroe Martin. He was talking to me. We were walking to a show the other night, and he's like, yo man.
Yeah. Is that like Muppet voice?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. He's talking to me. He's like, no, like you did really well. Like he's like, I was watching with Derek, and everybody else is like laughing or whatever. Me and Derek were looking at each other like, ooh.
that's the ultimate comic respect.
He done raised the bar. Like he took, because Monroe's like the leader in the Philly group, so he told them, because like the other Philly people
Monroe,
were there.
Derek.
Yeah, and he looked at his crew. He's like, yo, like I know y'all trying to get your late nights together. He's like, but if you ain't doing that, he's like, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
I was like, okay,
that's
bro.
great, man.
Last question, then we'll get to the blow off. How late were you even able to sleep?
That night.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh dude, it was exhausting because we got home. It was like maybe 2 or something.
And you're sharing a bed with your dad. Yeah.
And I actually had to wake up the next morning to Roy Wood wanted me for
So
a
we asked
promo.
you to be on the pod that Friday morning.
Yeah.
And you had already had something booked.
Yeah, Roy Wood Jr. asked me to be on a he's got a special coming out for Comedy Central called No One Loves You, and he wanted me to be in the promo for it. So I had to wake up the next morning to go shoot that promo.
It's just like, I just did the Tonight Show, and then nothing stopped.
Yeah, I was literally falling asleep on set. Like between scenes, I was like curled up in a chair, like just sleeping. And you
What a
know,
life.
it was
That's awesome.
It
Well,
was
you'll
fun.
know. This is how you'll know you've been doing it a long time, is when you go like right from doing a set on late night to then being like, all right, I got an 8:40 at the Cellar,
Right,
just like go
yeah.
straight. There are people that do it. It's
Yeah.
like go straight. It's like a time to go work on the next
Yeah.
one. No better time than now, which is crazy.
That's the way I feel now, where I'm just like working
Yeah.
on a new chunk of material, and I know there's only 5 minutes on there, but it's like I just keep wanting to produce new material.
That's awesome.
Well, congrats, man. It was awesome.
Thanks.
Real quick before we go, do you have a go-to blow off? Do you blow people off? How do you get out of things?
Some form of, I'm too busy.
Yeah, I'll most of the time I'll just be like, I can't fucking do it. Like I try not to lie to people too much about it. But I'll give them the non-committal. I'll try to make it. You know?
Yeah,
I'll
that's
try
good.
to make it.
The like 60%.
Yeah, the foot half in. It was funny, I texted, but it's like, I read somewhere that no is a complete sentence, and that's like such a true thing. It's like you can tell people no, and it doesn't hurt as much as you would think.
Sure.
To
Right.
tell.
It's all in your head. Believe
Yeah.
me, I
I
hedge.
Yeah, I asked the comic that that is far ahead of me. I invited him. I was like, yo, like I'm having a watch party if you want to come. And he texted back, not interested.
That's amazing.
And then he followed up, me and my girlfriend will be watching from home, rooting you on. And it's like, all right, that's honest.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like totally acceptable.
That's
it's like,
awesome.
I get it.
I love it.
You know?
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, congrats, people. Well, when we post this, we'll link to the set so people
Yeah.
can
Then
watch it.
you
and see,
can
'cause it'll get
totally
some context.
watch along with it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to promote? Where can people
how do
find
we
you?
find
Or
you?
what?
All of my social media is J Fisher Comedy, JFisherComedy.
Well, your first name is complicatedly spelled.
Yeah, that's why I
I'm not
kept it to
gonna lie.
the J. There also is another Jourdain Fisher as in the entertainment industry.
Oh, really?
He won Dancing with the Stars not too long ago. He's a singer.
Oh, yeah.
And we look strikingly similar.
Wow.
And his does not have
Yeah, but
the
his
U.
quick step game is
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
the
doesn't
paso doble.
have the complicated French spelling.
His paso doble is way better than yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jay Fisher
Comedy.
I'm sure you got lots of gigs coming up. People can
Yeah,
check
yeah.
those
I'll
out.
be in. Yeah, I've got a website, JordanFisher.com. That's got all my gigs on there. I'll be in DC in January. I think January 18th and 19th. So anybody in
man.
DC can come there.
Well, I'm super proud. Obviously, we spent a fun summer together, and
An interesting one summer.
exactly with 50 Cent. And but no, it's just so cool to see like you were in that room being like, yeah, I'm doing stand up. I'm going to the gym. I'm doing stand up.
Literally.
going to the gym, and going and doing stand up. And then the next thing I know, you're on the Tonight Show. So I was super proud and psyched that you made the time for us.
Yeah,
and,
thanks for sharing the whole story. It's really fascinating.
Yeah.
When they
All right.
call, I ain't answering.
Anything else? Stay
busy,
busy, everybody.
Because I'm busy. Whenever I get with her, say I'm busy. And I'm gonna hit you later because I'm busy.